Hello, hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I am super excited today to bring you this live training. I'm recording this podcast live. Actually, I've been recording a lot of my podcasts live, which I really fully enjoy. It kind of allows me, this is a little off topic, but it allows me to repurpose my content, and it saves me a lot of time. So I am live on Instagram right now. I am live on Facebook right now, and I'm recording a podcast. Take this as an extra bonus note to you that you are allowed to repurpose your content. You are allowed to create multiple things that you can spread across different social platforms. This makes it a lot easier for you, and it saves a lot of time. So today, as you are listening to this, it is Monday. If you are listening to this in real time, it is Monday, February 22nd, February 22nd, and there is still time to get into my masterclass called Pivot. We're going to be talking about the power in the pivot today, but if you guys are interested in getting into Pivot the Masterclass and you are wanting to learn how to pivot your business, how to launch your own offer, a new offer within 30 days, I'm going to be laying out the game plan of exactly how you can do that. But today, what I want to talk to you guys about is the power in the pivot. The link to Pivot the Masterclass is in the show notes, so just go ahead and look there. If you are on Instagram or Facebook, it's posted everywhere. You can also send me a private message and I can get you the link. Today, I want to talk about the power in the pivot because I don't know about you, but how many times in your life have you set a goal to achieve something? Maybe it's a health and fitness goal. Maybe it's a goal of graduating college. Maybe it's a goal of, there's so many different goals that you can have. Maybe it's a business goal. However, you come to a point in your journey where you feel as if you are hitting your head against a wall. You feel frustrated. You feel like you are not making any progress, and you feel like you're at a dead end. You feel like you cannot keep going because nothing is working, and you are ready to give up on your dream. I don't know about you, but I have been there many, many times. However, when we have this desire of achieving a goal in mind, whether it be a health and fitness goal, whether it be a business goal, an income goal, a relationship goal, we have these desires for a reason. And the reason isn't for us just to give up. Because if you give up, then you are going to feel like a failure. You are going to feel like you are not living up to your full potential. And so instead of giving up, the power comes when we do not change the goal. Instead, we change the way that we are trying to achieve that goal, and we pivot. I want you to think about this. Think about health and fitness. I'm going to relate this to a couple things, but when we look at our health and fitness goals and I'm just going to use weight loss as an example. I am very anti-diet. You guys know if you follow me for a while. However, I'm going to use this as an example because it's very simple to use. In your health and fitness journey, or you don't even have to use weight loss. You could just use strength training. You could use different things. Our body gets used to what we're doing, right? So our body becomes accustomed to the amount of food we're eating, the workouts that we're doing. And when we hit a plateau, what do the experts tell us to do? They tell us that we need to change things up and we need to do something different. It's no different in your business. If you are doing something over and over and over and over again and it's not working, it is time to pivot, and it is time to harness the power in the pivot. Think about this. If you had a child and that child is learning to read and that child is struggling because they're not learning like the rest of the class is learning, and they're not picking up what the teacher is putting down, do you just give up on that child and say, nope, I'm not going to help this child learn how to read? Or do you pivot and you help that child figure out a new plan on how they can learn better and how they can read? You pivot. You don't just leave your first grader hanging out to dry saying, nope, you don't get to learn how to read because you don't know how to do this like everybody else does. You create a pivot for them, this is what happens when you create a pivot, right? When you decide that what you're doing isn't working, but you don't want to change your end goal, but you want to change the way that you're going about it. You decide, okay, it's time to pivot. So you pivot your business and you decide that you are going to either start talking about something else. You are going to launch a new offer on your own. You're going to do all these things. It creates excitement. It creates energy. It creates momentum in a way that you cannot do by doing the same thing over and over and over again. I have done this many times in my business. And I'm not saying that you necessarily have to change your business. You have to go to another company or you have to launch your own offer. Now, this is what I am an expert in, is helping you launch your own offer so that you can create multiple streams of income. However, this could be as simple as showing up as an expert in something that you haven't talked about yet. It can be as simple as changing your branding. It can be as simple as changing the topics that you talk about in social media. This is going to shake things up. It's going to get attention on you. And another thing that comes with pivoting is polarity. And there is power in being polar, if you haven't noticed that at all. You wonder why that people are, there are quote unquote haters on social media, is because when we post something that's polar, it's going to trigger people. Those are the people that you want to show up for. The other thing that happens though, when you are polar and you post polarity content, basically polarity content is saying the things that people want to say that people won't say. It's taking a stance on something. It's taking a side on something. It's saying something that maybe the vast majority doesn't agree to. You're going to have people that are not going to agree with you, and that's okay. The really cool thing that comes out of pivoting and being polar is that you're going to start to attract the audience that you want to help. You're going to start to attract the people that need what you have to offer. You are going to start creating momentum with that because you are creating a stance and you're saying the things that people need to hear, but they're afraid to say. How many times have you come across somebody else's content and you're like, holy shit, how are you inside of my head? They're inside of your head because they're saying things that you are too afraid to say, but they're willing to say it. And this is where it really attracts the people that are into you. I actually had a viral TikTok video or a TikTok video go semi-viral last week talking about my opinion about Adderall and the way that it is shown on the TikTok app. You can go see that video on my TikTok if you want. However, there were I got a lot of haters on that video, right? And a lot of people calling me out. However, I had 10 times the amount of people supporting me and saying, yes, I agree. Saying, yes, I wish that more people would do this, or agreeing with what I had to say. And I grew my audience tremendously in a couple days just from me being polar and saying something opposite than what is being shared in that space about that topic. So there is power in the pivot. When you decide to pivot, it is going to allow you to create new energy. And if you listen to me at all, you know that in the online space, energy is everything. Energy is everything. Energy will outbeat the algorithm. Energy will outbeat any content that you have. As long as you're showing up in the right energy, that is going to pay off. That is going to show, and people are going to be attracted to that. So when you are pivoting, you're excited because it's something new, something different that you're either talking about or launching or doing. And what happens when you have that new exciting energy is it creates more momentum. It creates more momentum. And it attracts the people that you want to work with. And it gets people asking you for help. And it is just amazing what can happen when you let go of the resistance of pivoting and really stepping into your power. If you guys haven't heard my story, in 2000, and I think I shared it on the last podcast episode, but in 2019, I decided to pivot away from network marketing and step into a role as a coach. I was afraid to do this, and for a very long time, I used excuses to keep me stuck in this space. I said that it would be too much work. I said that I didn't have the time to do that. I said it was something that I didn't want to do, when in fact, it really was something that I wanted to do. I was ready to pivot, and the moment that I decided to pivot was the moment that I started creating more momentum than I could have ever imagined. There is power in the pivot. And trust me, pivoting is going to be a part of your business journey, like along the way. There are going to be so many times when something isn't working out and you are going to have to pivot. Excuse me. You are going to have to make the decision to do something else, turn a different direction, try something new, and then you can stick to that until it works, and then it's time to pivot again. And you're going to find that the more that you do it, the easier it's going to become. Now, obviously, I don't want you pivoting every 2 weeks or something. Like your audience already knows, likes, and trusts you. And so when you pivot, they're going to trust what you have to say. You might lose some people, and that's okay. But you're really going to attract those people who really know, like, and trust you and need what you have to offer. And that is what's most important. And then you're going to attract new people along the way. So, pivoting over a couple years is definitely something that always happens. Thank you, Amanda. Is always something that is going to be happening. Last year I was teaching a lot of body positivity, and I have recently just pivoted into more of being a business coach, because that's something that really lights me up. And that was like a natural progression. When you look at it in that sense, that pivoting is a natural progression, then it becomes easier. And the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. And people will respond to it. You don't have to be like, I think the problem is we need to give ourselves permission to, number one, change our beliefs, change our direction. Like, you are allowed to change your mind at any time, at any moment. And we have it in our head that if we decide to do something different, that people aren't going to respond to that. And while some people might not respond to it, you're going to be pleasantly surprised of how many more people are actually going to be attracted to you, because you are standing in your power, because you're doing something that works, because it's going to feel better for you. So with that being said, I invite you to join me in my masterclass on February 24th. This is a 2-hour masterclass. I'm going to break down exactly how you can pivot your business and launch either a new offer or an offer outside of your network marketing business within 30 days. I am going to give you the full game plan on how you can do this. I just literally stopped. I was in the middle of creating the slides for this workshop, and I was like, I need to jump on here. I need to do a podcast recording, and I need to share this, because it is so important how much momentum you can create in your business, in your life, and the impact that you're making in the world. The dog is sleeping and making some weird noises. How much impact you can make on the world as you pivot. So I invite you, join me in Pivot the Masterclass. Next week, you get the recordings, you get the notes, you get all of the things. It'll be a 2-hour class. At the end, there will be a live Q&A. I will drop the link to that below. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you soon. All right.